Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Nigeria to export petroleum products by December, says NNPCL. If I capture how many times I've read this headline the past 3 years, I would have got 1 million. Federal government shares 740 truckloads of rice to states. IG stops enforcement of the ECMR.
Thank you.
How illegal miners fuel insecurity by Abbas and CDS. Kano court stops Bayero, 4 others from acting as monarchs. UAE restarts visa issuance to Nigerians, OK's airlines. Lagos signs pact to boost lag ride with 5,000 vehicles. And allocation free. States set timetables for council elections. Okay. Which story are we taking in the nation?
Good news, and I hope it is sincerely, effectively carried out. The FEC meeting yesterday concluded on 740 truckload of rice to all the states, the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT. And they are looking at each state getting about 20 trucks per state. Each truck will be carrying 1,200 bags of 25 kg rice. That's half of a bag of rice. And the directive of the president is that the Minister for Agriculture should ensure that this gets to the most vulnerable. Whenever they put it that word, fear they always catch me.
Because it will not reach you. It will not reach.
No, it's not even whether it will reach me. It's who qualifies as most vulnerable. What do they think like that? You know, so those gray areas always causes corruption. But so this is the initiative of the federal government, and hopefully we'll start to get testimony of people receiving it and see videos of who are the most vulnerable that are receiving it. Also, they added that the FEC directed the Presidential Committee on Compressed Natural Gas to expedite action on the CNG compliant buses. We have been hearing CNG since the day they remove subsidy, but we have not seen it in Lagos. Somebody fed me back and said Gombe, somewhere up north, they already have all their buses as CNG buses, but I've not seen
CNG buses in Lagos.
No.
You're right. I've seen it.
The right zone comes in.
In fact, there's one that writes, I am CNG powered. Those big, but I've seen it. And I've also seen a charging plant. I saw it yesterday, actually. One of those in one of the stations in this Lagos.
So my husband says I should look out for NIPCOs, that they have an arrangement, something for CNG.
So eventually,
so that we can convert. You know, we have converted our gen.
Oh, really?
Since before subsidy was removed. And so when gas cost went up, it was no longer profitable. We are looking for the NIPCO stations.
Yeah, and
see if they will come. So we'll convert the gas as well.
Lagos State government has entered a joint venture agreement with CNG Motors Company Limited. They're going to be deploying 5,000 new lag ride vehicles to Lagos State. If you recall, we currently have those lag ride, the blue and white taxis. They're going to be receiving about 2,000 in the next coming weeks. So eventually, over the next 10 years, they'll have quite a bit of vehicles running in Lagos. So this $260 million investment is set to transform the transportation landscape of Lagos State, according to the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So the agreement supervised by the governor involves Ibile Holdings Limited, a state-owned corporation, partnering with CIG Motors to add the brand new vehicles to the lag ride fleet. They're saying among these 1,000 will be electric vehicles, which is great news. Going back to what we were talking about, underscoring Lagos's commitment to reducing fossil fuel dependence and lowering carbon emissions. This investment deal will further enhance efficiency and elevate smart mobility in e-hailing sector. So I'm really looking forward to this and see how that goes. I'll probably just park my car somewhere because honestly, it's not easy driving around.
They're comfortable.
And they are new,
obviously.
Go ahead.
So I have the export petroleum, the Nigeria to export petroleum product. Just like you said, the story, you read that headline 3 times. So let's see what they have. Let's hope that. They said relying on emerging indicators of the energy and gas sector, the NNPC boss told the committee, they had a committee, there was a meeting, and I'm going to mention the people that were at the meeting, that Nigeria will become a net exporter of refined petroleum products by December. They said that the Port Harcourt Refinery will go into full operation and petrol supply from next month. And he also said the Warri and Kaduna refineries will follow suit by December. He also said Dangote Refinery will pump petrol in commercial quantity also from next month. He said these are expected to bring relief to Nigerians. So at the meeting, the members that were at the meeting, they had the coordinating minister of the economy, Mr. Warri Budget National Planning Minister, Senator Atiku Bagudu, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Senator Lopo Biri, then the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Yemi Kadoso. He also said that the National Bureau of Statistics put the June headline inflation rate at 34.19%, pushed up by the 40.87% food inflation. So let's see how that will.
So I'm taking the story. I'm taking the story on how illegal miners are feeling insecurity. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, and the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa have both had a meeting. This meeting was at the House Committee on Solid Minerals, and the information is not something new, but it's just sad that 80% of the insecurity in the Northwest is caused by illegal mining. Also, the fact that Nigeria has lost about $9 billion to illegal mining, saying that only the few licensed miners pay Nigeria 3% from the mining that takes place. Also mentioned the fact that the military, the Chief of Defense Staff said that most operators brag about their high connections in government, and so in high places, and so you cannot necessarily take them out of the system, but they are fueling insecurity and they're not letting Nigeria benefit that. According to the Speaker, Nigeria has so many natural minerals and solid minerals that could bring us a lot of revenue, but we're not getting the benefit. It's rather mined illegally, and then we're having to finance the securing of the area based on the damage caused by the illegal miners. A lot of lamentation. I couldn't find the solution, but they cannot mine illegally without connivance with our people, with leaders.
Yeah, leaders and people. We're all the Nigerians, we the people. The Punch, I think let's take the headlines. OPS, that's Organized Private Sector, blames insecurity as food inflation hits 40.8%. $1.8 billion fuel stolen from refineries in 9 years, says Nati. I never knew I would live to 890, says Wole Soyinka. Excitement as UAE lifts visa ban on Nigerians. Court okays Kano Emirates law repeals, sacks Bayero and others. Trump emerges Republican candidate, picks 39-year-old as running mate. Cholera cases hit 2,809 in 33 states and 148 local governments. Lagos allays fares over LCDA's Oyo Taraba set-up panels. And Umueji projects over 1 trillion naira Zenith Bank profit in 2024. Okay, let's take one story before we're going to break.
Go ahead, quickly. So the OPS are, blaming insecurity on food inflation. The NBS, that's the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, had brought out a new figure. Our current food inflation figure is 40.87%. And it was 25.25% in 2023 last year. So a 15% increment is on it. And they blame it on, they said the prices of the cost of this food inflation is basically on prices of millets, whole grain, gari, guinea corn, bread and cereal class, yam, water yam, cocoa yam, potatoes, yam, and other tuber class, groundnut oil, palm oil, and oil and fat class, as well as catfish, other dried fish. He said that this reflects what we are most likely purchasing. But I want to rely, because, in the story also carries that organized private sector are blaming insecurity. Yes, all of them are blaming insecurity, but I want to rely on what Lotus Beta Analytics says. Mr. Shedrack Israel attributed the surge to various factors, including over-reliance on importation, that I agree 100%, exchange rate fluctuation, insecurity, I agree 100% again, global economic uncertainty, which is everywhere. He said these have far-reaching implications on the cost of living, our purchasing power, as well as the economic instability that we're experiencing. Okay, let's go to several advice to the government.
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Any story there? Let me take our Professor Wole Soyinka was saying on Monday. He said he never knew he lived to the age of 90. He revealed this while answering questions about the 383 students who participated in 2024 edition of the Wole Soyinka International Cultural Exchange program held in Abeokuta in his residence yesterday. The governor also had announced scholarships and gifts of laptops to 9 students who emerged best in an essay competition to mark the Prof's 90th birthday last weekend. He was born July 13th. The Nobel laureate clocked 90 on Saturday, and lots, in fact, it was celebrated across the states and across the nation. While answering questions from children on his life experiences for the past 90 years, Soyinka said he did never envisage that he would live to the age of 90. Added that he decided to be a writer to correct some anomalies from stories he listened to while he was growing up. On why he broke into radio station during the military era, he said, I never broke into a radio station, but I sneaked in. The radio station was holding on to something that belonged to the people, and I decided to retrieve it. If that item had been played, it would have demoralized the people and established the culture of brutality. Very interesting that he was engaging young people.
As in, at that age, it's a beautiful thing. I want to take the story on $1.8 billion field stolen. So the NAITI is the Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. Dr. Ogbonaya Orji has disclosed that over the period of 2009 to 2018, even up to 2020, they did a report that came out to estimate the total volume of crude oil, that's stolen crude oil, and pegged it at 619 million barrels. Based on the price at the time, the total amount we've lost is $1.884 billion. He said that these losses have its negative effect on the Nigerian economy, but aside from that is the fact that it can be prevented going forward. That they did a report, that's NAITI did a report, and that it was based on the, in partnership with the government, the last administration also did like an audit, and that if this current administration would implement the recommendations that they made on how to prevent oil theft, that it would save us a lot of money. That the risk and the fear, they spoke about the fact that our country is largely dependent on the oil revenue, and that it is within our, we can curb this oil theft, and like Mariah would say, is our people. But still, if NAITI has done a report, then the current administration would do well to go through that report and partner with the necessary agencies to implement so that we can see less oil theft and more revenue coming to us through our crude.
Okay, so I have the story of the Emirates, the Kano Emirates. They said the Bayero guy has still been...
Emir Bayero.
They said he's still taking, as in he's still parading as the emir of the district. And then the governor asked the police to eject the disposed emir from the Nasarawa mini palace. But the police refused to obey and said they need an order from the courts. And the government then approached the court to restrain Bayero and other disposed emirs from parading themselves as emirs and sought an order asking them to vacate palaces in their respective emirates. Delivering the judgment on Monday, Justice Ali restrained Bayero and 4 other dethroned emirs from parading themselves as emirs as Kano, Bichi, Gaya, Rano, and Karai. She held that the Kano Emirate Council Repeal Law 2024 was carried out by the State House of Assembly according to the law as enshrined in Section 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So they said they should leave Sanusi to have his space while the rest should please.
Daily Sun. Mass protest looms will demonstrate against Tinubu while Sheikh Gumi. Tinubu may send minimum wage bill to National Assembly next week. Headsmen kill 13 in renewed Benue attacks and 5 missing. Autonomy, Algon, seeks upward review of revenue accruing to local government. Rising food prices, Nigeria's inflation hits 40.8%. And FG-UAE agree on resumption of travels. Okay, which story?
Yeah, I have the IG biosuppressor. So the police force PRO at the Federal Police had announced that the IG had instructed ordered us to go and register our cars with the ECMR initiative. But now he also announced that it's been suspended by the IG after, civil societies protested against it. The NBA, as well as other bodies, gave a 7-day ultimatum to the IG to suspend or completely stop the implementation of the e-car something. I'm trying to remember what it is again. Electronic Central Motor Registry registration process, which he compelled, was a 5,000 registration process. But the NBA, as well as other bodies, gave a 7-day ultimatum to withdraw the enforcement or face legal action. And so the IG has said, suspend it for now. This process, according to the police force PRO, is something that would, increase our national database, also ensure security of cars, prevent multiple registration of cars. It has multiple benefits. It's designed to ensure the safety and security of all types of vehicles, including motorcycles, collecting data imputed into a system by vehicle owners, and also acting as the flag to vehicles when they're stolen. He said this also provides a first-hand database to the force for curbing vehicular crimes, and describes by giving easy access and real-time comprehensive data on every vehicle, on available tablets I'll be giving. I'm just wondering with what we are experiencing now, how this would have worked. But I really hope that, we can have a proper security, because car theft is a very serious issue. It happens every time.
Yeah. So the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, has said that our president will be sending the revised transmitter bill on the new minimum wage to the National Assembly by Thursday. If you recall, he had a meeting with the Tripartite Committee, consisting of NLC and other stakeholders, and he's also had a meeting with the governors across the country to have a figure. If you recall, the NLC insists on 250,000, while Labour has said, the government has said they can only do 62,000. So we're hoping that there's a final meeting on Thursday, which the president will meet with Labour, and hopefully a final agreement will be agreed upon and then transmitted to the National Assembly. So we're looking forward to how that goes on Thursday. Another story, son?
Yes, the UAE has lifted the visa ban on Nigeria. So it was signed July 15th, yesterday, that the agreement has been signed. We've heard it several times before, but we didn't have an agreement signed. Now the UAE and the federal government have signed an agreement saying that Nigerian passport holders now have access to apply for visa to visit the UAE. Said the breakdown of what will be required from us will be released later, but reacting to the comments, a few people on social media said it was expected that they knew that the president would be able to strike a deal that would make this easy. The central bank also, additionally, they had the issue with the central bank being able to remit the money for Emirates. It was to the tune of 85 million. So the Dubai Emirates airline had halted their airline, but after several meetings, they've been able to resolve the money, and now Nigerians are able to go back, continue doing business through the UAE. So this is good news for many Nigerians who that was their core business route.
Okay.
At least they're happy now.
Vanguard, very quickly. Controversy as manufacturers reject NBS inflation figure. IGP bows to pressure, orders suspension of the ECMR enforcement. Emirship tussle, talked about that already. Asaba poised to select new Asagba. Zenith Bank showcases strong financials to exceed the 1 trillion naira profit in 2024. Our projected $30 billion revenue will boost naira value, says Dangote. Hunger states get 20 trucks each as FG shares 740 lorry loads of rice. Okay, which story are we taking? I was going to take Dangote. So the president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has stated that his company's aim is to become the leading supplier of Forex as it targets $30 billion revenue in the year 2025. I'm looking forward to this.
We can't wait.
We're hearing these things as well. During a tour of the refinery yesterday with media executives at the weekend, he said the plan is to attain the central bank's Forex sourcing, highlighting a strategic shift in revenue composition. He expected the significant inflow of Forex into Nigeria through his business. He believes that this will automatically boost the value of our local currency and make Naira regain its value in the Committee of International Currencies. According to him, the refinery began full operation in 2024, initially focusing on refinery immediate products such as the polypropylene and others. He explained that the refinery entered its state production phase in March 2024. I've not seen Dangote's fuel yet. We're hearing about
petrol, but we have seen they say the diesel has come out.
Yeah, so I think it's the diesel so far. But
So
far, he's hoping that his projections would come to pass, and it will help us strengthen the Naira. We'll see how that goes. Any other story in Vanguard before we wrap up? Okay, let's move on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Local government autonomy, FAC meets today as FG may delay implementation of Supreme Court's judgment for 3 months. Court adjourns suits against Oba of Benin till October 17th. Kano, we talked about Kano already. This one is still not taken at all. Inflation rate hits 34.19% amid rising food costs. Okay.
I have the Oba of Benin story. So remember that two of the Eniges had gone to court to question their removal by the Oba of Benin. So yesterday there was a court sitting where the court adjourned till October because of course, there is a the annual judicial break that will be holding between this period till October. So the court adjourned the matter till October 17th. But if you see the crowd at the courts yesterday showing solidarity and support for the Oba of Benin, Fiago Cash.
It's so funny. But I mean, why would they institute a suit against it?
This matter should have just ended. But these two Eniges are, one is an uncle to the present Oba.